What's going on, everybody? It's Will Dyson here with Midget Slinger, and we're from Zero Concept Gaming. Today we're going to be taking a look at Remnant from the Ashes, and we're going to give you 10 tips on how we think you can survive in their new survival mode. Let's take a look. Tip number 1, grab a rifle. Look, ammo is scarce, so don't put yourself at a disadvantage by only being able to pick up one of the 2 ammo types that exist in the world. Trying to defeat a boss with just a pistol is no easy task. Being able to quickly switch to your pistol to take out those punk ads, then switch back to your rifle for the boss kill will make the battle way easier. Tip number 2, don't be afraid to melee. I used to never melee, it just wasn't strong enough. But luckily the developers listened to the community and gave melee a huge buff, increasing melee damage by 50%. So if you're getting overwhelmed by mobs rushing you, swing that hero sword or even punch them in the face if you don't have a weapon yet, because unarmed damage is powerful as well. Tip number 3, selling consumables. The only thing you can sell to a vendor in survival mode is consumables. So if you find yourself in a position where you need a few extra scrap for that trinket or that armor piece, go ahead and sell some consumables to make up that difference. Everybody starts off with a few, but then you're going to accumulate more over time, so just keep an eye on how much you have and whether you need that extra cash or not. Tip number 4, dodge, dip, dive, roll, and dodge. This is one of the main mechanics of the game. You've got to learn the cues of enemy attacks, so when you're surrounded or you have an enemy behind you throwing their ranged attacks, you know when to dodge out of the way. Another thing that helps ranged attacks is using cover. Use the environment to your advantage and put walls or columns in between you and the enemies. Tip number 5, pay attention to the map. Most of the dungeons are pretty straightforward, but there are some that can get really confusing. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten turned around in a dungeon and ended up back at the beginning after a big battle, wasting all that extra time backtracking. Just glance up at the mini-map every once in a while and make sure that you're headed in the right direction. Tip number 6, don't rush to the boss in the early rounds. Although this may seem like the best option for a timed game mode, the early rounds is where you can create a buffer. You need XP to keep you ahead of the world level and loot to make you stronger. You don't have to clear every corner, but kill every mob you see and stay on the lookout for the chest with all that sweet loot. Tip number 7, grab essential consumables if you have the extra scrap. I try to grab at least 1 oilskin tonic, green leaf, and heavy water elixir. If all I have though is 50 scrap, I prioritize oilskin tonic because being infected is super annoying. When you are infected, you cough randomly, which interrupts you to play out the animation. At the wrong time, this could be the end of your run. Tip number 8, don't underestimate the value of 60-minute buffs. After the first round or two, when you have your weapon and some gear, consider picking up the hour-long buffs to help make you more powerful. These buffs can help give you an edge while you are still collecting traits and building your ideal gear loadout. Don't forget, these items cost more each time you purchase them. Tip number 9, trinkets. Although trinkets will be dependent on the build you end up going for, check to see which trinkets are available each round. You don't want to miss out on an opportunity to pick up one that you want. In the early rounds, bonus XP, health, and stamina are all useful. In my opinion, the Daredevil's Charm is the most overpowered item in the first couple of rounds since it's easier to get away with not having gear equipped. And that brings us to tip number 10, destructible items. There are a lot of destructible items on the maps. Most are empty, but there are a good amount that drop scrap or even extra ammo. Some have a chance to drop traits and even weapons, trinkets, and armor. I wouldn't say go out of your way to break everything, but you can melee, shoot, and even roll through them on your way to acquire some free items. That wraps up our 10 tips, but I want to know what y'all's records are. How many bosses have you been able to beat? Let us know in the comments section below. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button to let us know and consider subscribing so you'll know when we upload another video. Thanks for watching.